This is Dr. Quinzel, therapy session 1 for patient T.C.P.O.C. He has been charged with multiple counts of murder, robbery, destruction of property. The list goes on, and you get the point. Please sit down.
Evening, Dr. Quinzel.
Listen, I'm not here to chit-chat. I'm here to find the source of your madness.
Look, what I want to know is, why was I transferred from Blackgate to ARKHAM Asylum?
They found plans to set off charges in the building under your bed.
Oh, I really look like a guy with a plan.
You blew up Gotham General. I mean, it must have taken you months to set all those charges.
If we could stop pointing out my faults, I would like to get to the actual therapy.
Okay, let's just start. I'm sorry. I'm having a really bad birthday.
Oh, I understand what you mean. I hate birthdays.
Why do you hate birthdays?
See, birthdays are like bullets. They keep hitting you, and hitting you until the last one comes and you're dead. Doesn't sound too good, does it?
No, I guess it isn't. And I would prefer if you called me Dr. Quinzel.
And I'd prefer if you called me Mr. J.
Whatever. Let's just get started with the therapy you were talking about.
Shock therapy? You know I enjoy abusive relationships.
Well, that's not good for your health. Anyways, I wanted to get to the source of what decided to attack Gotham.
Well, one of them is Commissioner Gordon.
The police commissioner?
Yeah, you see, he can put people in his little cages all he wants, but then the minute I kidnap one little Batman imposter, everyone just loses their minds.
You murdered him and then went on a killing spree.
Well, that's the Batman's fault. I gave him a chance to stop me from murdering people by removing his mask, but no, he just had to go ahead and still follow his precious little moral code.
Well, I wasn't expecting that kind of an answer.
Of course you weren't, Puddin'.
I told you to call me Dr. Quinn.
I told you to call me Mr. J.
All right, Mr. J. Why did you pick the identity of the Joker? Was it a childhood fear, or was it because of the scars?
Sometimes I'm not even sure if I know that.
Well, how did you get those scars?
You don't just ask me that.
I'm sorry. I'll avoid that subject.
Alright, it's fine. Just make sure I'm at least the one who brings it up next time.
All right then, Mr. J. Do you have any memories of the Joker as a child?
Well, there is one, but also I got the scars. You want to hear?
Yes, I would, Mr. J.
Okay, so as a child, my father was in a gang. At the time, this gang was more powerful than the mob. You see, I'd never seen my father's face before because it'd always been covered up in these cheap Halloween masks we used so they wouldn't discover our identity. One day, while we were robbing a bank, my father, he got shot. I took off his mask, and he had a pair of these scarred on his face. And then, as soon as that happened, the team started coming over and saying, "Initiation time." One pinned me on the ground, one of them pulled out a switchblade, and then gave me a pair of these. So, I just got one question for you, Doc. Initiation time?
Guards, get in here. Now. This session is now over. How did he do that? This is Dr. Quinzel, therapy session 2 for patient T.C.P.O.C. After the last session, we put him on multiple medications and made sure his straitjacket is fastened and he has no weapons.
Well, sweetie, that's strike one.
What are you referring to?
Remember, Mr. J?
Oh, sorry, Mr. J. Also, just a quick question besides the last problem. I never requested a straitjacket for you.
Well, when I first got here, I told the guard about a little meeting I had with the mob, and, let's just say I showed him a magic trick. You want to see?
No, thank you, I'm fine.
Are you sure? All it requires is a pencil and a volunteer.
Hello, Dr. Quinzel. Ready for the group therapy session?
Yes, I am. Let me introduce you to patient Mr. J. Mr. J, this is Dr. Enigma.
Excuse me, group therapy session?
Yes. We will be in a session with Jonathan Crane.
He prefers to be called Scarecrow, according to this. Speaking of which, come in.
Crane.
Clown.
You know, Crane, you should really take off that mask. We're not going to be scared of your ugly face.
Fine.
I lied. Anyways, Mr. Enigma, how do you plan to cure me?
It's Doctor, but I plan to stimulate your mind with riddles.
That's funny.
What?
You see, when I got in here, I thought I was going to an insane asylum, not preschool.
This method so far has cured 20 patients. I'm the smartest man in the hospital, in this city, in America, and I think I deserve to be treated as such.
Did your mommy tell you that?
You're just starting to irritate. Let's get started then. This is Dr. Enigma with patient T.C.
Mr. J?
Mr. J. Riddle 1. What has 4 legs, then 2, then finally 3?
Well, the answer to that is a dog. It starts out on 4 legs, chop off its front legs, it ends up on 2, and then you give it a cane and it can hobble around on 3.
That's horrible. How could you say something like that?
It's not my dog.
That's grotesque. The actual answer is a human being.
And that's correct.
No.
What?
It's just too simple.
Not everything is overly complicated,
I
Mr.
just
J.
said that.
You implied it.
You know, Doc, you really shouldn't go twisting around my words. You might find something you won't like.
Okay then. In the notes it stated that your father's gang inflicted those scars on you.
No.
But you said that in our last session.
Doc, you remember, sometimes I wouldn't even remember this stuff.
Well, do you remember now?
Yeah, well, you see how it happened was, I was an Iraqi war veteran. I was just walking around, grenade in one hand, combat knife in the other. By this point I was going a bit crazy. I haven't slept in days. I was dying of thirst. And by this point I just blacked out. I wake up, I'm strapped to a board with a man with my combat knife in his hand, speaking at me in some weird Middle Eastern language. As he slowly puts a knife in my mouth and tears the flesh out of the inside of my cheek, I see tear gas coming in the room. Black out again. I wake up on a rescue chopper. And, well, let's just say I had a little adrenaline rush. And I grabbed one of the guards' AKs, slaughtered everyone on the chopper, took it to Gotham, and then started my reign.
He's obviously lying. He keeps breaking eye contact and his pupils keep dilating. He's just trying to pull on your heartstrings.
You're just mad because the minute you got out of Arkham, you had a woman tase you in the face while you got dragged back to your cell by your forced crime.
I'm gonna kill you! This isn't going well. Goodbye. Goodbye, Mr. J.
See you, Doc. They could be useful.
What do you mean?
Oh, you'll see.
This is Dr. Harleen Quinzel, therapy session 3 with patient T.C.P.O.C, aka Mr. J. Since our last session, he's been granted permission to not wear his straitjacket and has been reading a book of some kind. What are you reading, anyways?
It's this book about this mentally disabled emo pale girl who falls in love with this mentally disabled emo pale stalker guy.
Uh-huh. Is it any good?
Sad answer your question?
Well, we're getting off to a bad start.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I love reading. It's just, as long as it's not a middle-aged woman's fantasies from her teen years published into a 600-page novel.
You like reading?
Oh, yeah, I love reading, because that's really all I had to do in Blackgate. While Bane was letting his army of prisoners go, I sat in my cell reading Shakespeare.
Really, you read Shakespeare?
Yeah, my favorite's actually Romeo and Juliet.
Oh, I love that one. I love how it shows what lengths, even death, people will go to be with the person they love.
I didn't exactly interpret it that way, but you can go ahead and keep thinking about that.
And how did you interpret it then?
I interpreted it as this guy wanted to get away from this obsessed girl so much that he went so far to commit suicide.
Like I said, we're getting off to a bad start.
Hey, look at it this way. At least she didn't have to see him die.
Well, but still,
Yeah. Have you ever seen someone die?
No, I haven't.
I'm not talking about, seeing them die at like a funeral or a hospital or something. I'm talking, you just kill them or they're dying in your hands and you get to hear their last little slow, painful breath.
No,
I've seen my share.
I'm sure you have. If we could please get off this subject, I'd like to continue with therapy. You know the reason we're here.
Lay whatever you got on me, Doc.
Okay, well, as long as your story for the scars hasn't changed again, what do you think during your time in war gave you this bloodlust?
Well, there was this game I used to play with a terrorist that I killed.
What do you mean?
I guess it was more of a game for me than it was for them. You see, I would get a pile of dead bodies, then I would set landmines strategically to Beethoven's Ninth Symphony, and then I would blow them up and have it playing on a tape, so it would synchronize it with the bodies bouncing from one landmine to the other.
Beethoven's Ninth can last over an hour.
I had a lot of free time, okay?
But why would you even think about something like that?
Doc, you're talking to a guy who set 2 stories of money on fire.
Well, there's no way Arkham can deny it now.
Deny what?
After watching these past 2 sessions, Dr. Arkham thinks that you've been faking insanity. You're just another average criminal. If everything you're saying is true, then there's no way that Arkham can stop me from having these sessions with you.
What if everything I just told you isn't even true?
So you're just lying to my face.
That's not what I said. It's just, if I have a past, I'd prefer for it to be multiple choice.
That's an extremely odd way to look at it.
Not necessarily. See, the difference between me and all the freaks, whack jobs, and knife-wielding psychopaths in here is I know I'm insane. Dr. Harleen Grimfell. It's really a mouthful. Too many syllables.
I know. I've never liked my name either.
Switch around a few letters and you get...
Harlequin. Yeah, I know. Sorry, I was mocked with that name as a child.
No, let your aggression out. It looks good on you. Speaking of which, that name puts a smile on my face.
And why is that?
The Harlequin. Beautifully painted on the outside. But on the inside is where the true beauty comes out. And let me tell you, your face is immaculate.
Oh, Mr. J.
What was that?
What?
Oh, don't pretend like I didn't hear that. I knew there was something different about you from when we first met. This professional act, that's not you. From day one, I knew you were different. That's not you. I could tell from day one you were more loose than that. It's these cameras, it's this hospital. They're turning you into something you're not, Harley. Excuse me. Harlequin. Say it.
No.
Say it!
No. And stop calling me that.
Everything all right?
Yes, everything's fine. I will not let you pull me over the edge.
There now.
This is Dr. Dr. Quinzel, therapy session... You know what? Screw protocol. It's unnecessary after 4 sessions of this. I think you get the idea.
I'm very disappointed in you, Doctor. After the last session, I figured I'd be looking at you through a wall of glass inside a padded cell. No straitjacket, no mouth guard, no handcuffs. You don't realize how disappointed this makes me.
Well, I do admit that last time wasn't our best session. I'm not going the easy way out and just sending you to another doctor.
I'm not talking about the easy way out. I'm talking about taking the necessary precautions.
I believe you don't need a padded cell or a straitjacket. I believe you can be cured.
What do you mean, cured?
Well?
The whole time, I've just been myself.
Well, yourself is a danger to society.
What I mean is, why fix what isn't broken?
Your mentality is broken. You realize the many deaths you cause, and all for what? For a cheap laugh?
There's no such thing as a cheap laugh, because a laugh signifies happiness and joy.
Have you ever had someone give you a fake laugh?
Of course. There's a difference between that and laughing at something that's actually funny.
Yes, but the things that you laugh at no sane person would think is funny. In interviews, Commissioner Gordon said you were laughing when the Batman started beating you during an interrogation.
Most of the doctors before you told me I was a masochist. I always denied it because masochists enjoy the pain. I don't enjoy the pain, I enjoy the personal talk. You see, say when the Batman was beating me, it's not that I enjoyed the pain, it's that I enjoyed him beating me, his heart pounding, his eyes focused, thinking that he's getting information out of me, when in all reality, I don't care the kind of pain I'm going through.
So, not only do you not care about the safety of others, but you also don't care about the safety of yourself.
I care about yours.
How?
Look, Harley, I'm just trying to protect you from these professional leeches sucking out your personality.
I told you not to call me that.
It's funny. You think I'm insulting you and you're getting mad, but I'm complimenting you on being the most beautiful woman I have ever seen. Not only on the outside, but when you let go of that whole "this is Dr. Quinzel therapy session, blah, blah, blah." I don't want Harleen Quinzel. I want my Harley Quinn.
Mr. J, you're flattering me. It's funny.
What?
It's just someone who is certifiably insane can be more of a gentleman than some idiots at a restaurant, you know?
That just proves how little you know about me.
In some ways, yes.
You see, the logic you use to try and pry information out of me is just too simple. The way to get information out of me is on a level you can't even comprehend. It's like we're reading a book, and I'm just a few chapters ahead. Most of the whack job doctors in here are still in the table of contents. But you have potential for something more than just a therapist who sits in a chair after a day of treating lunatics with the same techniques taught to you in med school over and over and over again. When you live life like I do, it never gets old.
What? A life of using landmines to blow people up?
What are you talking about?
Are we really doing this again?
What?
Never mind.
Why do you get mad at yourself when you do that?
I just hate that voice. It makes me sound so...
Unprofessional?
Yes.
I don't know why. I think it's cute.
Really?
I haven't had this much of a good time since I went to the circus with my father.
Yeah? Could you please tell me about that? For research, of course.
Okay, well, my mother was brutally murdered by mother. My father, trying to entertain me one day, took me to the circus. And the clowns there would just pull their pants down, and we would laugh. My dad nearly busted a gut. So, yeah, we got home, I took his best pants, and then I pulled them down my waist, and then I ripped the crotch straight out of his pants. And then he broke my nose. I was bleeding everywhere, and he comes at me with a knife, sticks it in my mouth, and he says, "Why aren't you laughing now?" He gives me a pair of these. And then he says, "Oh, look, there it is."
That's so horrible. Who would do that to...
Come here, son. Oh, it's okay, sweetie. It's okay. Because you're my little harlequin.
Stop. No, I shouldn't have done that.
No, sweet. It's okay.
No, I have a boyfriend.
He's late again, people. He should really get a watch. Where have you been?
Attending to personal business. If we could please get started, I would very much...
No. You have been gone for 2 weeks. No call, no letter, no fax. You are going to tell me where you have been.
I don't believe that concerns you. Calm down.
Doesn't concern me. It doesn't concern me that you've been out who knows where with who knows who.
Fine. If it stops your hostile and immature behavior, I'll tell you. The night that we got finished with our 4th session, my husband Guy proposed to me.
Oh, you had one of those, tacky Vegas weddings. Fantastic.
No. Guy's parents have money. Guessing I would say yes. His parents rented out a church. It was a small service. Only our families were invited.
Why wasn't I invited?
Look, that thing that happened was 2 weeks ago, okay? I'm tired of being manipulated by a patient who's classified as insane.
What happened to trying to prove that wrong?
The charges were dropped.
Okay, now getting back to our relationship.
There is no relationship. None. Zero. Nothing besides a doctor and a patient.
Does that mean you're breaking up with me, Harley?
Graham. Okay. There was nothing there to begin with. And stop calling me that.
What, your true self? Oh, come on, Harles, just let it out.
I see what you're doing. And it's not gonna work.
I'm just trying to show you what society is doing to you. Nothing more. Speaking of which, that huge rock on your finger, how many burning piles did that cost? Guy.
Like I said, his parents have money. And it didn't cost him a cent.
That's a good sign of a man, when he has everything handed to him on a silver platter, and whenever he has a problem, his parents can just go ahead and pay for it.
1, he's a med student. And 2, once he finishes his schooling, he's going to get a job that will pay close to the amount his parents are making.
Okay, whatever you say, Mrs.
I kept my maiden name for work reasons.
Sure, work reasons.
What?
We all know why you kept that last name, Puddin'.
So, how did your sessions with Dr. Enigma go?
Did you read the file?
Yes, but Well, he can always be a bit impatient.
A bit?
Alright, that may be an understatement.
When I told him his riddle method was bogus, he flipped the table on me.
He's got a bit of a temper.
Plus a huge ego.
I know, it's irritating. Well, no, okay, don't let me bother you with this, but...
What?
Okay, well... You see, when Dr. Enigma gets all the credit, he never thanks anyone for helping him, and well...
Spit it out.
I think he drugged his patients he supposedly cured with his riddle method, so they would be completely calm.
How did he do this?
Well-
Exactly.
One day, I got here early, and I was getting some breakfast from the cafeteria. It wasn't open yet, so I stayed outside the door. I saw Dr. Enigma with the duffel bag going towards the door. I hid behind the trash can because I didn't feel like talking to him. He had a key. He unlocked the door. I saw him taking a plate of cookies and drugging them. Then later that day, I saw him hand them to a patient he was treating. He did this every day until he cured them, and then they were just sent back to Blackgate.
Did that feel good, getting that off your chest?
Yes. Yes, it did.
Atta girl. Now why don't we take off that ring and we discuss, how this really happened between you and Guy.
Okay. Well, I was the one who really asked to get married, and his parents rushed, but that won't happen again, Mr. J.
Oh, of course it won't, 'cause you're my little Harlequin.
No. No. I'm not letting this happen again.
Not now, in the future, but for now I've got all the information I need.
This session is over.
This thing on? Yeah, okay. Hi, my name is Guy T.C.P.O.C, and I am applying for the internship here at ARKHAM Asylum and everything. So I do this over the internet with all the modern technology we have and everything. So, yeah, doing this because I need college credits. You know, I'm a med student. You know, I thought working at an asylum, me being a psychologist, would help both of us. Yeah, like I said, I just need it for, college credit. Okay, I'm sorry, I can't keep this up any longer. The real reason why I'm applying for this job is because my girlfriend, who I recently married, Dr. Harleen Gwinzel, who's a therapist at your hospital, has been having therapy sessions with a, let's just say, extreme patient, and well, I'm scared for her, and my father told me when we got married I needed to watch out for her because she's my wife, and, you know, that's what a man needs to do. So I feel that getting this internship would be able to make me easily be able to watch out for her when I need to, and I just want to care for my wife. One sec.
Hello? Is anyone out there? Ma'am, could you please tell me what this chloroform smells like? Come on. Is this thing still on? Oh, jeez. Hello, my ravishing audience. I just got back from doing something that wouldn't exactly be considered, socially acceptable. But anyways, these cards, They can be used for a lot of different things. Some people use them to, make a profit, tell the future. But the world doesn't work like that now, does it? I use them the way my grandfather taught me to. I tell stories, and that's what we're gonna do tonight, boys and girls. Start off the story. Let me just show you how things stack up. Thomas, Martha, and Bruce Wayne. One night, they went to the theater to see an opera. For some reason, they decided to leave. I don't know why, but then little mugger doesn't have any money. Comes up, offs Bruce's parents, leaving him alone to cry. Runs away. A few years later, we get the Batman. The Batman did a lot of things for Gotham. Took out Carmine and Falcone, the leader of the mob. Took out a mentally challenged person who wears a scarecrow mask, and his plan was to get the city high. Genius, I know. Then, once again we flash forward a few years. Out of nowhere, a wild card shows up. The thing about wild cards are, they always come when you least expect it. And this wild card, it did everything in its power to try and bring Gotham to chaos and anarchy. What wild cards do best? He took out, Gotham's White Knight. Then he took out Gotham's Dark Knight, the Batman. But there's another thing that you need to know about wild cards. And remember, there's 2 of them in every deck. They may not always show up at the same time, but trust me, they'll always come together in the stack on the side. You're probably wondering 2 things right now. One, why'd you tell us that little story about Bruce Wayne in the beginning? Second one is, who is this Batman? Believe it or not, these 2 questions are connected, because the Batman is...
What are you doing in here?
You just came in too dang early. Close the door. Turn off the light. Now my whole schedule's out of whack. Hand me my jacket, will ya? Thank you.
They've been searching the whole hospital for you. Why didn't they check in here first?
Listen, okay? Oh, they did. But they were just too early, like you. Speaking of which, do you know where, Crane's cell is?
Yes. Why?
Oh, it's got a bit of a doctor's appointment. You have to be quiet.
What are you going to do to...
Wake up, Mr. Crane. Wake up!
What are you doing?
Shh. You don't want to wake the other patients in their cells, now do we?
So that's where my parts have been going.
Yeah, I made a little deal with your dealer about those.
Looks like trash.
I'm sorry, I don't have a welding torch in a mental asylum. Now come on, let's go.
Where are we going?
Don't you want to get out?
Well, yeah, but...
Yeah, shh. No, come on, let's go. Speaking of which, do you want to show me where Enigma's car is?
Why haven't the security cameras picked us up yet?
I shut those off at a time. Speaking of which, Enigma's car, could you please show me where that is?
Fine. What are you...
Okay, he's coming!
That's... Stupid? They think I'm stupid?
Hello, boys and girls.
Just some child.
This is your old pal,
Treat me.
Sticky
Oh,
Whizzleton.
well, let me tell you, you little son of
This is a song about
boss
a
man,
flame.
Mr.
No!
Mr. High and Mighty.
This is a
I'll
song
tell you
about
who's the
being
stupid
happy.
little
That's
child.
right.
Just give me time, why don't
It's the
you?
happy
It'll all
little
come in
song.
time. Surprise!
Boy,
Sorry about that.
Doctor! Where? Clown? Where are we?
How you been, Doc? You're not getting out of here tonight, so, my recommendation, just take this. We're at the National Gotham Gunsmith, so, we got a few supplies to get. Just,
You...
just take this.
1 second. Just not trying to get me into your plans, clown.
Can I get a goodbye kiss? I'll take that as a later.
Rot in a hole, you scumbag!
Love you too, sweetie.
I don't know what I'm doing, but can someone please answer me one question? What did I do to deserve this? What did I do to deserve being in the back of a car with a bunch of lunatics? Why did I ever agree to do the sessions? He manipulates me and he walks all over me and I don't do anything to stop it. He makes a fool out of me. He posts these videos online. I just let him do it. He was right. I forced Guy into marriage. He's getting inside my head. And it scares me. And Mr. J was right all along. And no. Don't talk like that. That's not you. That's not you, Harles. Come on. Unless it is. Unless Mr. J was right and this is the real me and I mean, what if this is the true me? No, it can't be. I went to speech classes. It was a speech impediment. That's all. Nothing more. Unless it's not. I mean, what if I've just been Looney Tunes deep down and I never let it out and Harlan Quinzel's such a mouthful. Harley Quinn. I like that. Oh, Mr. J. I love you, Mr. J. Does that make me crazy? No. I love him. He showed me true happiness. More than anyone else. When he touched my hands, I felt complete on the inside. Like he's the thing that's been missing from my life. No! No, stop. That's not... Oh my gosh, they're coming! Okay,
I'll take that. Five, you moron! You insane! We just killed 10 people. The cops are probably... I participated! Just drive, you idiot! You lost your mind.
Can I get that kiss now, please?
keep your eyes on the road!
Get out of the way! Move faster!
Enigma, maybe it would help if you just move faster.
I'm trying not to get pulled over.
You know what? We're gonna get pulled over unless you speed it up! Oh, sorry about yelling, sweetie. Oh, what's wrong?
What's wrong? What's wrong? I'm in the back of a stolen car with lunatics from an insane asylum.
I'm not in that group, am I?
Anyways, you know, you can just end this all now. Just put that in your hand. You know, you could end this all now by just, you know, putting a bullet through his skull. We're going at a speed right now to the point where it wouldn't really matter.
No,
We
terrible.
just all die.
Terrible idea. Horrible.
Now remember, don't pull the trigger. Squeeze.
I can't.
Yes, you can. Go. Yes, you can.
No, I can't.
No, she can't.
Oh, you want putting your hand through it? Alright, how about you just do it to me?
Better idea.
Now, remember, pull back to safety. And don't pull the trigger. Squeeze. Squeeze.
I can't.
Oh, what's wrong, Puddin'? You don't want to leave you Mr. J.
No, Mr. J.
It's okay.
Never next car with lunatics.
Just follow those papers until we get to Metropolis.
Now, the smartest man in America got outsmarted by a clown. This must be bad
Wake me up
news.
when we get there, sweetie.
The smartest man in America, fooled by a clown.
Clown, wake up. We're here.
Stay in the car, Puddin'.
Where are we?
We're at LexCorp. I have an interesting item I need to pick up here. Come on, Crane, hurry up.
No.
Keep that camera in here, or at least turn it off or something. I got enough security cameras.
Okay. Where? I think it's off.
Is it off, or isn't it? Yes, clown, it's off.
Remember, guys, just follow my lead. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment. I just got one question for you. Where is Lex Luthor? Do you know where Lex is? Do you know where Lex is? I just want to know, sir, do you know where Lex is? Do you know where Lex is?
No, I don't know where.
What was that? He could have had information. Well, go to the car. Go to the car.
Frickin' clown.
Clown's sick. He'd probably enjoy something like this. So, how's it being in the big office?
You really want to talk about this now?
Well, I don't see any other topic that we can talk about.
Really?
Yeah.
We're sitting in a car? A stolen car?
Drive, you moron!
Where?
What was all that for?
This.
What is that?
Let's just say it's a little bit of blackmail, fuel for the cops to continue chasing us! And, a little something for later tonight. If you didn't get my signal, Enigma, what I was trying to imply was drive!
Well, Where do you want me to drive?
I don't know. Where's your house? Is it nearby?
No, I live in a cardboard box in a back alleyway in Virginia. Of course I have a house somewhere around here.
Okay, go to the house, and then get to the garage. You really think they're gonna expect us to be there?
Fine. And all this is over, clown.
Enigma, don't turn, Enigma, why aren't you going to your house?
Oh yeah, let's just go to my house when there's a bunch of cops chasing up. We're in going to this this parking garage, alright?
Oh, but why are you crying?
Why am I crying? Do you see this? Do you see the situation I'm in? You know what? Whatever you're doing, it's not gonna work. You're screwed.
Darling, I really don't want you talking to me like that. You seem tired. Why don't you go to sleep? Oh, you're not tired? Okay, how about I read you a little bedtime story about, I don't know. Oh, I've got these scars. I ain't a wife, beautiful, like you. One day, I come home from work. I find out she's expecting. So next day I go back to my job, and, well, they fire me. So I don't know how I'm gonna support this family. So I go to my buddy. He's got a big meth deal coming up. He said the only way I can participate in this is if I'm the Red Hood, the Fallout guy. So, I agree. And then that day when I get home, before I do the meth deal, I find out my wife died in a car crash, and of course the baby died too. So, it's funny when I look back on it. But I can't back out of the deal now, because I made a commitment. And you can't break a commitment. So that night I go with the meth deal. Apparently the people we were selling to weren't exactly satisfied with our product. So I let the other guys run away, and they capture me. They strap me to a table, stick a razor in my mouth, and they tell me, "Why aren't you smiling?" And you know what all this amounts to, sweetie? One bad day. I'm sorry.
Right now!
We're here.
All right then, let's get inside. Here we are. This isn't exactly as formal as I want it to be, but what about a bit formal? So I want you to sign this.
What is this?
Just some divorce paper between you and I, blah, blah, blah.
I'm not going to sign this.
No, you will sign it.
I'm not going to sign this.
Sign it!
I must be you just signing this too. Marriage license. Keep that a bit more formal. There we go. And Enigma. If you could, please, just start right about.
What do you want me to do with this?
Oh, just read it.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to join the therapist and her patient in...
Just skip past that part, blah, 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 just skip.
Okay. Do you have the ring?
Yes, I do. And, yeah, she doesn't have a ring, but that's okay. This was, unexpected. Let's go.
Do you take your little Harley Quinn to be your lawfully wedded wife?
I do.
And do you, Harley Quinn, take Mr. J to be your lawfully wedded husband?
I do.
You may now kiss your bride.
Enigma, hand me the shotgun. Looks
Looks like we've got ourselves a Batman. Come on, I want you to do it, I want you to do it, I want you to do it. Come on, hit me! Hit me! Hit me!
Batsy, I knew you weren't dead. You know the difference between you and me is? I just kill people I want, but you don't have the nerve. The difference between me and you is I don't senselessly kill people.
Whoa, wait a minute. You're not Wayne. And he's gone. Oh, and look, he left something behind.
That was easy.
Too easy.
Free hands on
Hold
the
this.
ground. Free!
Hold this. I'm not an accomplice.
Never thought I'd see this clown, but thanks.
No problem, buddy. Now, scout. You know what the cops gonna do? Go. Good eye. Take that. Oh, sweetie, this didn't go exactly as planned, but don't worry. There's always plan B. Oh, look at that over there. It's nice.
Guy? Guy? No. Guy? Oh, I'm gonna call 911.
No. Oh. He collapsed my lung bad. Hey, I'm not gonna make it. Just...
Yes, you will.
No. Can you do one thing for me before I die?
Yeah, anything.
Quit working at ARKHAM and get away from that monster.
What?
What do you mean?
Don't say that. About my Mr. J.
What are you talking about?
Don't say that about my Mr. J.
I started a joke which started the whole world crying, but I didn't see that the joke was on me. Oh no, I started to cry, which started the whole world laughing. Oh, if I'd only seen that the joke was on me. Till I finally died, which started the whole world living. Oh, if I'd only seen, oh yeah, that the joke was on me. Oh no, that the joke was on me.
Clown.
Oh, come on. Can I just show you a magic trick? All it requires is you giving me my phone call and a little man in prison with stomach pains. I want it. I want a phone call. I want it. I want my phone. Hi. Plan A didn't go exactly as planned. Well, the case went well for me. Nigma survived his little run-in with the cops that we had. Gave him a vest ahead of time. I knew that would come in handy. But things didn't go so well for him. They had some security footage of, well, let's just say, him helping me shoot up a few buildings. Didn't go well on his part. They actually sent him to ARKHAM. He's now patient, getting therapy sessions for his so-called insanity. I just find that sickly ironic.
Get him on the gurney. We gotta take him to therapy.
Bye. This new therapist is not going to work out. What's his name again? Oh yeah. I just called him Sharpie. But what I have to say is, that session lasted 3 hours. I used to make him last 10 minutes at the most. Before I go to bed, I really gotta tell you guys something. Back when the mob ruled the streets, and I had a little something to do with that, this whole city was a war zone. And then there was that 8-year hiatus. Bane re-sparked that little war zone for a few months. But of course, he went down. But last night, what happened? I think I re-sparked what that war zone felt like. Sure, I may have gotten caught behind enemy lines, but you know what they say. It's a POW's duty to escape. Yeah. Anyways, I think I'm gonna go to bed, so, yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Take her down! Take her down! What the heck is he?
Oh, Mr. J.
Oh, sweetie.
Say hello to your new and improved Harley Quinn. So, Mr. J, are you ready to go?
Oh, you know I am, sweetie.
Mr. J, come on.
Just let me grab one more thing. Oh, and before I go, boys and girls, when you set out to accomplish something and you try hard, you accomplish it.